round 5 of the Commonwealth Bank Trophy. This evening we're joining you from the arena in Brisbane. The match between the Queensland Firebirds and the Sydney Sandpipers. It should be a tight one out on court, with both teams looking to post their second victory for the season. The Sandpipers and the Firebirds have both gone close to winning matches earlier in the season, but they've faltered at crucial points. It should be interesting to see which of the two teams can sustain the pressure and take home the victory. Let's have a look at the competition ladder as it stood after 4 rounds of the season. It's tied at the top with 4 teams locked on 6 points. The Thunderbirds are first on the table by percentages, and they're followed by the Sydney Swifts, the Adelaide Ravens and the Melbourne Kestrels. The Melbourne Phoenix are 1 win off the top 4, while the Firebirds and Sandpipers have both recorded 1 win for the season. That's 1 better than the Perth Orioles, though. They're still to record a win in season 1999. Well, as always, I'm joined in commentary by former Australian representative Monica Lam. And Monica, we know there's going to be some fantastic shooting out on court this evening, but it's going to take more than just shooting to win either of these teams tonight's match.
Shooting will be very crucial, Simone. Vicky Wilson, the Australian icon in the goal shooting circle, is playing for the Firebirds, and she's on a 91% average off last week's round. She's going to be fed by Karen Clark in the centre, and that's an area that the Sydney Sandpipers will have to shut down. Firebirds, however, have Sharon Finnan playing against her former side, and she defensively is the expertise unit in that area. Carissa Toms, the centre for the Sydney Sandpipers, Australian player, will be feeding Morgan. That will be a crucial area to look out for as far as the Firebirds is concerned.
Thanks very much, Mon. We'll look forward to your comments throughout this evening. Well, let's take a look now at how these two teams will take to the court. For the Firebirds, you can see that it's Wilson, Deva, Cramsey, Clark, Matthews, Saunders and Finnan. They're coached by Paddy Farrell. For the Sydney Sandpipers, Tucker, Gerard, O'Connor, Toms, Moore, Menke and Morgan will take to court. They're coached by Marg Corbett. Sitting on the bench for both teams for the Firebirds, Arthey, Sampson, Chapman, Healy and Hankinson. For the Sandpipers, Beveridge, Harvey and McCaffrey will line up. Sydney Sandpipers will have the first centre of the match, Carissa Toms. Just waiting for things to get underway. Well, Paddy Farrell's been quoted in Queensland press today as saying that Queensland really need to start winning these close matches, Monica. Our umpires tonight, Maureen Stevenson and Louise McMeeking, they really do need to start, because without wins on the board, they can't stay in touch with the top 4.
They've been very close over the last few weeks, but not close enough. First ball going to Jo Morgan, and she puts it up, drops short. Good rebound there by Beveridge, and that's the first one to the Sydney Sandpipers. Good crowd here, backing up the Sydney Sandpipers.
Excellent crowd. Yes, there are some New South Wales supporters here in the crowd. They're going to give the Firebirds girls a run for their money. Sandpipers were the first one on the board. Let's see if the Firebirds can get there first for the match. Belinda Deva off to Vicky Wilson. Oh, Wilson way short with that first attempt. It's gone to Monia Gerard. Crowd didn't like the decision, and I think that's been a held ball. I think Monia was a little surprised that she got the previous call. So Wilson now with the Firebirds lines it up. Second one in and out for Wilson. That's 0 from 2 for her in the first quarter. I'm sure it won't be long there before she's on the board. Nice intercept there from Alison Tucker for the Sandpipers, but equally good work from Karen Clark in the mid-court for the Firebirds.
Matthews there leaves it for Finnan to take. Deva just passes it over to Wilson. Casually takes it on the goal line. The extension there from Tucker, and it's a hurl ball, so good work from Alison Tucker.
Bit of a strange feeling to the match so far, Mum. We've only had like a minute and a half, but just both teams seem to be just missing a little bit. Sandpipers do have one on the board, so Beveridge now on to Toms. Can she start something for the Sydney team? Beveridge. Oh, nice arc and all net for Olivia Beveridge. That's her second goal of the evening. And Olivia Beveridge shot 12 from 21 last week at 57%, so I'm sure she'll be looking to definitely improve that statistic.
Toms takes it, looks again for Morgan, setting herself up at the top of the circle. Arthey pushed her out that far, and because she had the stance there, took the rebound, kept Morgan behind her.
Deva onto Clark. Wilson trying to break free, does just that. Nice work from the Australian captain and the Firebirds captain, Vicky Wilson. Firebirds get their first one on the board. Sandpipers 2, the Queensland Firebirds 1.
Great work. Oh, great work there from Clark into Deva, and she does finish it off ever so nicely for the Firebirds.
And I do remember last time we were here 2 rounds ago, Karen Clark just had some stunning passes, great timing. We see there she's managed to put herself in the right position to come up with the ball for the Firebirds. I think that one was off Gerard. Got in the way. Firebirds will retain possession from the baseline. Belinda Deva was actually in doubt to start tonight's match. She has been quite ill with a virus, but it looks as if she's well enough to take to court this evening. Wilson, Vicky Wilson, her second goal from 4 attempts.
Wilson setting up there, look, winds up the arm, lets it go. And Monia Gerard tipped it. Deva couldn't catch it at all.
One of these days we're going to have to get a speed gun on that arm of Vicky Wilson's. It would be impressive to find out how fast she does actually throw. At the other end, Olivia Beveridge will get another try. Rolls around, gets stuck in the net, but doesn't matter, it'll still count. 3-3 here at the arena in Brisbane. Just over 11 minutes remaining in this first quarter.
Beveridge shooting the Sandpipers 3 goals on 100%. Morgan has put up 2 attempts, yet to score. Let's see what she can do here.
Morgan, very nicely done indeed. That's her first for the evening, Jo Morgan. Sandpipers 4, Firebirds 3. Deva through Clark, onto Wilson. Back to Finnan. Clark looking to make it work in the circle. Vicky Wilson spins around, works with Clark. Good work from the centre. There was a touch there from Tucker, I think, on Wilson's hand. Managed to put her off and the shot missed.
Good work from Alison Tucker, put the pressure on Wilson. Morgan takes a good one out to the side. Again, she's on the perimeter of the goal circle. Penalty will stand. Arthey stands out. Morgan taking a while to settle into this first quarter. Shoots there for the Sandpipers. They're leading by 2. 5 plays 3.
Taking a little while to settle on, but also the Firebirds defence keeping her a fair way from the net. She's having to shoot from quite a distance.
And that's the ploy, I think, that Paddy Farrell will try and employ in the circle there. Morgan has been the one to watch out for in the Sandpipers lineup.
Beveridge off target. Morgan with the superior height manages to drag it in. And Jo Morgan, that's her 3rd for the first quarter. She's got 3 goals from 5 attempts, shooting at 60%. Sydney Sandpipers out by 3. Sandpipers 6, Firebirds 3.
Good movement there from Wilson. She cut the baseline. She swings it across to Clark again in the pocket.
Just not confident to turn around and shoot there. I don't know if confidence the right word, but wasn't prepared to turn around and shoot Vicky Wilson. She wanted to improve the position. In the passage of play has done just that. Has scored the Firebirds' 4th goal of the evening. Sandpipers now 6, Firebirds 4.
And I wonder whether Wilson does have a favourite side or an angle that she likes to shoot from. Perhaps in that pocket there, it wasn't comfortable for her.
Morgan continues to shoot them from a fair distance from the ring. That's her 4th. Sandpipers back out by 3. Deva loses the handle, but it rolls to Wilson, who puts it in for the goal. That'll get the crowd going. Bring it back to 2. Sandpipers 7, the Firebirds 5.
Good support here again tonight from the Queensland Firebirds crowd, the fanatical Firebirds they're called. So we thank them for coming out again and supporting netball.
Jo Morgan, now she's got the eye in Morgan. That's her 5th. Farrell will be hoping that her defenders will go back to the plan, try and keep Morgan out further from the goal. At the other end, Deva tries to find Crampsey. O'Connor got a hand to it. We'll stay with the Firebirds, though.
O'Connor read it well by keeping on side.
Great little battle we've got there in centre court. Clark and Toms. As we see Wilson put one in. Sandpipers 8, Firebirds 6. Just under 8 minutes remaining in this first quarter. of the round 5 match between the Queensland Firebirds and the Sydney Sandpipers.
Gerard to O'Connor, and it was a wayward pass of sorts. Made O'Connor extend, didn't perhaps look at the offload correctly, and it's sideline to Sharon Finnan.
Finnan into Crampsey, back to Finnan, onto Dever. Crampsey has it, onto Wilson. But the ball needs to be taken back to Clark, who gets it out to Crampsey. Quick ball into Wilson, good hands. And finishes it off nicely, Vicky Wilson. So they're crawling back. The Queensland Firebirds, they're within 1 now, and they do have the centre pass. Can they level it on this trip down court? Sandpipers 8, Firebirds 7. Clark, quick hands off to Dever again. Dever off to Wilson, who was unmarked. It was good sight there from Belinda Dever to get it off to Vicky Wilson, and scores a level here at the arena, 8-all.
Once again, the Firebirds had precision passing in that forward line.
Moore. For the Sandpipers onto Toms. Goes back to Moore. Carissa Toms, the Sandpipers, looking to get as much use out of her in these matches as she just throws that one a little too long and wide for Beveridge. We'll take a look. Toms sees Beveridge, who's heavily guarded, and it just floats a little too far, a little too long.
Best option should have been with Morgan on that replay, but here we are with Wilson in the Firebirds goal circle and takes them out by 1, 9 plays 8.
First time in the match, the Firebirds are in the lead. That one goes through Gerard's hands. She's fought to get into the team, Monia Gerard. She's played really well in the first 4 rounds when she's been brought on by coach Marg Corbett for the Sydney Sandpipers, as now the Firebirds are 2 goals out. She's not really connecting just as well tonight, Gerard, but I'm sure she'll work her way into the match as the Firebirds come up with a steal. Clark looks for an option, finds Wilson. Just rolls off the rim for Wilson. Great work from Dever. Oh, and even better work from Clark, but Gerard's there to pick up the scraps for the Sandpipers. Firebirds out by 2.
Oh, sensational work there from Clark. Wasn't allowed. Pick-up called. Contact, I think. Toms to take it. Clark picked up for the contact. Will stand alongside. Ball. No, it's back in the circle, so Beveridge to take it. Puts it back out. Regathers. Sandpiper's shot. Goes over the top of the post. Morgan rebounds. Close shot. Should be easy for her.
And on the second try, Joe Morgan puts it in for the Sandpipers. They're back within 1 with 5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Firebirds 10, Sandpipers 9. Dever looking for Clark. It was off target, but couldn't be drawn in. Nice ball into Wilson. Wilson finishes it off, and they're back out by 2. Firebirds 11, Sandpipers 9. Toms, Beveridge. High ball into Morgan. She handles it well and finishes off nicely, Joe Morgan. That's a nice quick goal there for the Sandpipers.
7 from 9 for Joe Morgan at the moment, 78%. And down the Firebirds then, Wilson. 10 from 10 on 100%. Dever. That's her second shot in this first term.
Belinda Dever 2 for 2. Firebirds 12, Sandpipers 10. Beveridge. Toms, and that one will be called against Beveridge. If it was basketball, it would be called a charge. Clark had good position. So the Firebirds, Moore got a hand to it, but the call has gone against the Sandpipers. So the Firebirds now through Matthews, onto Dever. Crampsey, over to Finnan. Clark now. Just trying to work it into the circle, the Firebirds.
Oh,
great. Oh! That one came off Monia Gerard's face. It was fantastic work from Vicky Wilson.
She's opening the eyes up a bit. You can see them watering, but again, the Firebirds through Clark. Wilson spears it to Dever, couldn't control it. Goal line thrown going the way of Alison Tucker.
3 minutes 17 remaining in this first quarter. Firebirds up by 2, 12 plays 10. Tucker, long board to Gerard, brings it in. Moore, onto Morgan. Some heavy contact happening out there at the moment. That one was actually after the call. So it's with the Sandpipers. More high ball over to Morgan. She'll turn around and shoot. Ooh, in and out for Jo Morgan. But she has been... there was a penalty against Sharon Finnan, so Morgan got another attempt. Didn't make a mistake with the second attempt, so 12 plays 11 now. Won the difference. Toms goes for the steal, but she's offside. So the Firebirds, Deva, can they keep this lead going into the first quarter break? They've got 2 minutes 28 remaining. And in fact, Vicky Wilson extends that lead. They're keeping that 2-goal buffer. Firebirds 13, Sandpipers 11. Toms to Gerard. Just checked the footing there to see whether she was still in foot. Moore. High ball to Morgan. Arthie does her best to put Morgan off. Morgan with the shot. It's all net for Jo Morgan. Keeps the Sandpipers in touch. 13 plays 12.
Good use of the air from the Sydney Sandpipers. Clark turned around, used Finnan, takes it back again on the parallel. Deva was covered, Crampsey. Sees the space to Clark. Was well done there by Toms. She cut down Clark's vision and also space, but incurred the hands-on, so goal line went the way of the Firebirds. Wilson keeps that leg extended to keep the space that she wants to get closer to the post. Drops for Vicky Wilson once again. So the Firebirds leading by 2, 14 plays 12.
12 goals from 15 attempts for Vicky Wilson at 80%. Sandpipers now on the attack. More into Morgan. Arthie will stand aside. Morgan takes one step and is short with the shot. Firebirds possession. Clark.
Toms with the contact. Releases Clark into the goal third. Cramsey also free.
Wilson across to Clark. Oh, was looking for Cramsey. Wilson got a hand to it, tried to bat it off to Deva, but it's gone over the baseline. So it's a turnover to the Sandpipers. What can they do with this possession with under a minute remaining in this first quarter? Firebirds out by 2, 14 plays 12. I'm sure the Sandpipers would like to have the last goal of the quarter. As the clock ticks down now, Beveridge out to Toms. Toms, high ball over to Beveridge, and it's sailed over the sideline. So if they're quick, it will be the Firebirds who will get the opportunity to have the last score of the quarter. Toms and Clark go for it together. It's gone against Carissa Toms. She'll stand aside. Firebirds now. Clark onto Wilson. And in fact, time has been called there by Maureen Stevenson. Quarter time here at the arena. And the home team, the Queensland Firebirds 14, have a 2-goal lead over the Sydney Sandpipers 12. We'll take a look at the statistics for the first quarter for the home team, the Firebirds. Vicky Wilson for the quarter, 12 goals from 15 attempts. She had 3 turnovers and 5 penalties against her name. A little more than what we've seen against Wilson in previous games. 1 turnover for Deva. She shot 2 from 2. Clark has 1 intercept. Penalties for the Firebirds then. Matthews has 2, Finnan has 2, and Arthie has 1. Well, the home team, the Firebirds, are ahead by 2 in this match. Long way to go, though. We've only had the first quarter. The score stands 14 the Firebirds, 12 the Sandpipers. That one goes through Vicky Wilson's hands. Shooting statistic, Wilson has 12 from 15. Deva has 2 from 2. The Sandpipers, Morgan has 9 from 12. And Beveridge has 3 from 4.
Only 1 more attempt in that first term by the Firebirds. 17 attempts. Sandpipers 16.
Interesting to see for the season, the Firebirds are shooting at 81%, while the Sandpipers are shooting at 68%. And I think that would be expected with a shooter like Vicky Wilson in your team. You would have quite a good percentage of shots going through that net. Time's been called here. I think we're just waiting for the court to be wiped. There has been a change made to the Sydney Sandpipers lineup. At wing defence, Christine O'Connor has gone to the bench and Danielle Harvey has taken her place. We'll take it for a third time. This time it's Carissa Toms. Moore into Beveridge. Beveridge way off target with that one. She'll get it back. Way short again, Olivia Beveridge.
Matthews left Moore on the perimeter of the circle, so Moore gathered the crumbs, offloads to Morgan, and at long last, the Firebirds take it away. Clark does step indeed, quite a blatant one.
So Toms for the Sandpipers, onto Moore. Back to Toms. Use of an arm there, I think it's going to go against Arthey. Morgan plays quickly. Morgan, this time, a better shot from the Sandpipers. Firebirds 14, Sandpipers 13, and that's Joe Morgan's 10th goal of the match. Beveridge, Gerard, onto Toms. Moore over the top to Morgan. High ball to Toms. Moore onto Morgan. Sandpipers looking to level here, taking quite a bit of time. Beveridge. Finnan stands aside. Beveridge overshoots. She's come out cold in this second quarter. Morgan does a better job of it for the Sandpipers and indeed locks up the score at 14-all.
A few advantage calls there, not standing for the Sandpipers, but eventually it does stick. Clark onto Wilson. She's out of the circle and that leaves the space for Dever. Ramsey back to Clark. Prepared to work it around the Firebirds, keep possession. Good work from the Sandpipers defensive unit.
Dever to Wilson, Wilson out to Clark. It is good work from the defensive unit. Having trouble getting it into the circle. Dever, though, takes it for the Firebirds. And in it goes for Belinda Dever. 3 from 3 at 100%. Crowd appreciate it. Firebirds back in the lead. 15 plays 14. Replay there for Beveridge. So a turnover to the Firebirds.
Well done by Clark there. Yes, Arthey offloads and it was a wayward pass. Clark picked it up.
Dever on to Wilson. Back to Clark. It's very rarely that you see Vicky Wilson receive the ball in the circle and take a shot straight away. As she gets that one in, she will always look to her teammates on the perimeter of the circle to improve her position. And I suppose that's why her statistics are always so high. 13 from 16 in this match so far at 81%. She likes to know she's in a position where she will nail that goal home.
Oh, that was sensational work there from Wilson, and it was just as well done by Dever to hang on to that pass. And
I tell you what, there's no way Belinda Dever would ever be able to have an off night. She had an off night and those bullet passes were coming in. As we see, Wilson.
Nice push there from Wilson. She wants to get it away quickly. Tucker, move out of my way.
Oh, yeah. Dever did well. Score here, 17 to the Firebirds, 15 to the Sandpipers. We're in the second term. Dever bounces off. This one's dragged in by Tucker, who gets it quickly to Toms. Onto Moore. Morgan out of the circle. Toms, nice running netball.
Contact picked up by Finnan on the arm of Beveridge. Standing out, Sharon Finnan.
Beveridge has 3 from 6 attempts at 50%.
Another penalty closer to the post. Crowd don't like it at all, but the Sandpipers have got it. You can hear the boos from the Queensland parochial crowd, and why not? This is their home state. 16 plays 17.
Opportunity to tie these scores again, the Sandpipers. Moore onto Beveridge. Over to Moore, it's gone over her head, and Moore infringed on Clark. So the Firebirds come up with possession. Matthews onto Crampsey. Dever. Clark into Wilson. That was nicely done from the Queensland Firebirds. 18 plays 16. Wilson 13 from 16 at 81%. Dever 4 from 5 at 80%. Dever again. That one bounces off the rim. It was a little too hard. Gerard comes up with a nice rebound.
Good work there by Gerard, putting the pressure on. Harvey looks for Beveridge again. Moore doesn't take it in. Matthews with the hot attempt there defensively. Arthey reads that one well. That was an easy pass for Lisa Arthey. And look at the Firebirds. Wilson holds it up. Clark takes it strong and takes the space as well.
Crampsey into Wilson. Back to Clark. Wilson looks to break free, moves closer to the ring and scores the goal for the Firebirds. Vicky Wilson, that's her 15th goal from 18 attempts. 19 the Firebirds, the Sandpipers 16. And Firebirds just looking a little sharper at this point in time.
Good attempt there by Clark, but she does go offside. Beveridge takes it. Arthur thought about the cross over the goal circle.
Olivia Beveridge. That's a nice goal for her and will perhaps boost her confidence a little more. 4 from 7 so far in this match, shooting at 57%. Queensland Firebirds 19, Sydney Sandpipers 17.
Quick work again by Vicky Wilson and Cramsey playing it in together. Wilson takes the advantage by moving forward, and the shot by Queensland Firebirds stands. 3 the lead now to them, 20 plays 17.
Just over 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter as the Sandpipers look to move it down court quickly. Morgan takes it from about 2 metres out, takes a step in. All net for Jo Morgan. Now she's firing. 14 goals from 18 attempts. Harvey went for that one. We'll take a look at the last goal from Morgan. Setting out herself up from the top of the circle and straight through the net.
Wilson now on the goal line for the Firebirds. See what happens here. Drops in. That was nice. Should be 2 points awarded to that goal.
Oh, it came off hard off the ring and then came back out of the net and back through the net in the right direction. So the goal has been awarded. Firebirds 21, Sandpipers 18. Moore looking to find Morgan. She's heavily pressured from Lisa Arthey.
Contact called on Arthey again. Morgan.
Into Beveridge.
To Beveridge, I'm sorry. Yep, and the advantage goal stands. So the Sandpipers 19, Firebirds 21. Just under 7 minutes remaining in the second quarter.
We always get nice tight matches here at the arena in Brisbane. Good crowds, tight matches. The Firebirds always play well in front of their home crowd, and they love to see Vicky Wilson shoot. Not many opportunities left in Australia to see Vicky Wilson on court. She will be retiring at the end of the season.
Oh,
fantastic
great work. Oh. And rewarded as well, because Matthews went in to back up Karen Clark, and that's what it's all about when a team goes in hard and has the support of their players around them and creates what's happening here for the Firebirds. And Wilson finishes it off, and that was all due to Karen Clark's attempt on the sideline. Firebirds leading by 23, Sandpipers 19.
Total commitment to the ball here from the Firebirds. Something that's perhaps lacked in previous seasons, but we're seeing some good things here from some of the young players. Wilson, beautiful. That's her 20th goal for the evening, and we've still got just under 6 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Firebirds 24, Sandpipers 19. All of a sudden, it's a 5-goal break.
Inspirational work like that, Simone, lifts the team by about 2 or 3 goals. You can feel it on court. You can feel now the Firebirds really digging in hard.
Jo Morgan now has 15 goals on the board. At the other end, Belinda Dever, she'll line up. No, she dishes off to Vicky Wilson. Safe Vicky Wilson, who scores the 25th goal for the Firebirds. Strong work there from Leanne Matthews, applauded by the crowd. A hand in there, I think it was from Harvey. Sandpipers managed to get it, but again, Arthey.
Look at this, look at this.
Beautiful. Beautiful work from Clark. Huge ball into Vicky Wilson, and you can hear it. The crowd absolutely, it's been allowed. I thought all of a sudden there was a boo there, and I thought, oh, heavens above.
I think the Queensland crowd would come in here and virtually take the umpires off court.
That one didn't go through for Dever. Gerard with the rebound. That's a little too high for Toms, but she's managed to bring it back. Morgan, 26 plays 20. Let's just take another look at this Clark pass. That's just enormous. Wilson does superbly well to pull that one in and score the goal. Dramatic stuff. Crowd loved it. 26 plays 20, and again the Firebirds
opening it right up here. Well done, Devon Wilson.
Firebirds 27, Sandpipers 20. Toms. She tries some of Clark's methods. High ball into Morgan. And Morgan finishes off just as well for the Sydney Sandpipers.
They're the two feeders that we told you about. Toms in centre for the Sandpipers, feeding Morgan and Clark. Crucial to the Firebirds forward line. Deva bends, stretches it, and takes the lead out now by 7. Firebirds 28, Sandpipers 21. Just on 3 minutes 30 in this second term.
That was Deva's 5th goal of the evening. Sandpipers now looking a little frazzled. Morgan looks to steady them, but it bounces off the rim. Finnan tries to bring it back in for the Firebirds, but possession remains with the Sandpipers. Moore into Morgan. Arthey will stand aside. And Morgan off to Beveridge. Beveridge, oh, short again. It just doesn't come out of the hand well for Olivia Beveridge. Joe Morgan manages to get it back, though, and score the goal for the Sandpipers. Let's have a look. Great work there. Ooh, in fact, into the camera from Sharon Finnan as she tussled with her opposite number. Sandpipers with possession.
Oh, Clark thought about it, and that gave the space to Toms. There's Clark again. It fell her way, that ball coming from Morgan. Finnan getting a long option.
Sorry, Mon, I was going to say Lisa Arthey is also having a great game tonight. She's been very involved, has managed to pull off some passes. Just seems to have a real feel for what's going on out there and is positioning herself well.
So that in the first term she was pushing Morgan to the top of the circle, and she's rattled Joe Morgan somewhat, and she's carried it through in this second term, but really it's the forward line that have done exceptionally well. Clark in the centre, on to Wilson, and once again Vicky Wilson, 24 from 27 at 89%.
29 plays 22. It's a 7-goal lead to the Firebirds. Oh, Morgan under heavy pressure from Arthey does well and scores the goal. Joe Morgan, that's her 18th goal. Here we see Lisa Arthey take a breath. She's working hard to keep Joe Morgan contained. Goes against the Firebirds, that one. So Gerard for the Sandpipers, onto Toms. Moore. Back to Gerard. Looking for an option. Bounce pass to Toms. Puts her under pressure. She does well to keep it in court and get it to Moore.
Bit of a mess as the Sandpipers come down court. Players running in